Gary, this website thing you're talking about, it sounds like a waste of money. We have the yellow pages. Like, why would somebody have to find you on the interwebs, World Wide Web? Like, everyone uses the yellow pages. And I was like, John, everybody used to ride a fucking horse to work. Now we use a car. Attention is the #1 asset.
Gary, I'm looking right at you. Again, thank you for joining us today. So
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Looking at your record of early stage investments, Facebook, Uber, Twitter, I wish I knew you way back then. It's evident you have an eye for understanding how technology can digitally transform and disrupt industries. So you heard my spiel at the beginning here about the profession. Like, how have you identified these industries and why such a strong proponent of tech adoption and digital transformation, no matter what sector you're in?
I'll answer the second one. First of all, super pumped to be on this panel. Logan, I'm missing your beard. Tiff, that's one of the best headshots I've ever seen. And Dawn, I think you and I could be tag team WWF champions. The energy is real. And then super enjoying the chat here, by the way, Matt. I'm like all in the trenches with everybody here. So let me answer the second part, because I think it really matters for everybody who's listening, who might be tentative or who might not be thinking about it. The concept that I have to answer this question in 2023 blows my mind, because it was the question I was answering in 1996 in local chambers of commerce in New Jersey, which looked like the following. Gary, and I was like 21 and I looked like 16 at the time, so I get where the cynicism came from for the business people. They're like, Gary, this website thing you're talking about, it sounds like a waste of money. We have the yellow pages. Like, why would somebody have to find you on the interwebs, World Wide Web? Like, everyone uses the yellow pages. And I was like, John, everybody used to ride a fucking horse to work. Now we use a car. The answer to your question is, if people on average are losing $76,000 that are on this call by not using technology, and even if that's an inflated number, if the number's $1,000 plus time, you know how many people here, if they used proper technology, would be able to go and see their kids' soccer game during tax season? Like this is time and money. Like, I don't understand, like, your ideology that you hate AI or you hate technology or you liked it better in the 80s when the kids played outside. Like, I'm sorry, like, you live in 2023 and you're running a business, and to not use technology or demonize technology is asinine. You use technology for everything. If you don't like technology, why do you have an iPhone? If you don't like technology, why do you use Uber? If you don't like technology, why do you order your food with Seamless? And you do all these things in real life. Like, why don't you use a paper ticket at the airport? You're using your QR code. Like, if you're doing all those things, how on God's green earth are you not using technology to make more money and have more time with your family? And because you're not used to it or you don't like it, I get it. I get it. Like, it's like, you don't want another app. You don't want to pay the SaaS fee if you don't use it. I get it. The problem is, it's pretty well documented that you're wrong. And more importantly, if your competitors continue to get more efficient at this, they're going to take your business. So real quick in the chat, for the 600 plus of you, how many of you are retiring in the next 5 years? And I don't mean you're going to crush it and make so much money and buy an island. I mean, you're old and you're finished and you're done in 5 years. How many are retiring within the 5 years? Good. So for Al Dorf and one other person, okay, like I can wrap my head around you kind of like mailing it in the next year or two because you're wrapping it up. But for everyone else here, when I see Jack at 26 years old in the chat, like, what are we doing here? Forget about this technology. Like, everybody here should be using AI every day. And nobody is. I know that to be true. It's that early. I get it. By the way, me included. I'm giving my own advice. I'm like kind of giving advice to myself. Like, I really need people to wrap their head around not understanding how to use better tools. Like, look, I get that you can like get a screw into a wall by using a rock, but like, we invented the screwdriver, use it. Like, I get that you can eat with your hands. I, by the way, do that often, but it's like the fork exists. Like, the concept to not use software to make more money and have more time for your family, bananas to me.
Let me ask you here. I think you raised a good point. What do you think the friction point is there? Like, what do you think is the barrier that's hard to overcome?
Well, bullshit ideology, complacency, and laziness. They'd rather not put in the work for, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say that to razz anybody. It's an ideology and a demonization and a insecurity that they can't learn it without realizing they're way more capable than they think.
Mm-hmm. And going back, you ask people like who's going to be retiring in like 5, say 10 years. Is there advice you might give for someone who is retiring, who's thinking like, you're an accountant, this was your business, like this, there's a lot of money in that firm. Have you ever talked to anybody about like future-proofing their business to say like, if you're not on technology, and I'm sorry if I'm front-loading the question, but if you're not on technology,
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because a lot of people here, based on the comments, have a sense of me, and a lot of people don't. And one of the reasons I think I have nice vibes towards me is I'm not just interacting with the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Ubers. I'm like answering random DMs at like 2 a.m. from like small businesses that have like 3, like I love people and I love small business. I come from small business. I grew up in a 1-store liquor store in New Jersey. Of course, nobody's going to buy your shit if you don't have tech.
Yeah.
Like it's 2024. They don't want your cell phones in your phone, and that's your business. Your book of business is dramatically less valuable if it's not got a layer of tech infrastructure to the people that would actually buy it.
Yeah.
Like I would pay, I actually not in this sector, but in a different industry, I told a friend's cousin to buy the leading software, which was like $5,000 a month, which was expensive for how small the business was, but they were ready to sell it because I knew they could arb out the $60,000 investment on the exit of the business, and they did. They literally got $1 million offer more because they had the tech, even though they weren't even using it. Matt, they weren't even using it. They just had the license and put it. So like, to your point, I wasn't even thinking this. Kudos to you on the question. It's 2024. Jesus fucking Christ.
Listen, we penned an open letter, Gary, to the industry, and it was basically about being brave. And obviously we're talking about the technology aspect of it, but like thinking about working smarter, looking at technology to boost efficiency, profitability, and driving healthier cash flow, increased revenue, you name it. So when you hear that 43% of accounting professionals, this is from a survey that we put out, fairly scientific, I'll add, they absorb that time cost and that scope creep, basically absorbing the billable work they've already worked. Like, what does that make you think about the industry?
It makes me love the industry. Believe it or not, there's no razz on this. I'm empathetic. Mm-hmm. Don't let my cursing and Jersey energy right now throw anyone off. I'm deeply empathetic. My father didn't accept credit cards or have a computer in the store when I started in 1993. I'm like, we didn't take credit cards. I'm like, Dad. He's like, people have checks. I'm like, not for long, bro. Like I'm like, Dad, we don't have our inventory figured out. He's like, we count it by paper. I'm like, Dad, they're stealing. Your managers are stealing shit. Like technology is good. I understand you didn't want to pay. Like I have such an old school father, Matt. Do you know that my father still doesn't wire money digitally? He like still signs the checks. We have 100 employees at Wine Library in Springfield, New Jersey right now. Yeah. And my father can't vacation because on Wednesdays he has to sign everyone's check. Like I'm deeply empathetic. I live with an old, like my favorite person on earth professionally is my father. And I like basically still help him manage his business. Like I understand. I just also refuse to take an opportunity and miss it. If anyone is part of that crew on this call or listening in the future, you will make more money and you will have more time and you will be happier if you make the commitment. No different than eating better and going to the gym will be better for your health. News alert, it's better. And like that doesn't come natural to me. All the muscles in my body only happened in the last 10 years, not the prior 38 years. I'd never been in the gym in my life. I drink less soda. I eat less candy. I eat less carbs. All are devastating to me. I want them. They are delicious. But if I want the right things to happen, you do the right things. For the people, like, I don't understand business people not wanting to run a better business. I understand being hesitant because it doesn't come natural to you. Mm-hmm. But the cat's out of the bag. It's like I said 10 times already. It's 2024. It's hard to compete without technology. And I'm not even getting into what I need everybody else to do of what I care about, which is everybody here should be making 2 to 3 posts on LinkedIn a day to get customers. Like, we're not even getting in, like, what you're talking about is like oxygen and like getting out of bed. Like, the shit you're talking about is like step 1. You don't want me to unleash on these people, Maddie.
I don't know, Gary, you're getting me pumped here.
No, but I mean, like to your point, like for your agenda and like what you want for these people, both for yourself and for them, like to me, that's just like waking up in the morning. For me, I'm worried about everyone here not producing content on social media. I'm worried about everybody here not having their website properly. I'm worried about people here not really creating funnels that lack friction to great business development. I'm worried about here people being complacent of word of mouth because they've been doing it for 22 years. Gary, you don't get it. I've been the local CPA. I'm like, that's great, Don. But like, I promise you right now, I can start a firm in any single place tomorrow and take tons of people's business from here, never doing the work prior, hiring a kid that's been doing it for 3 years. I'm not going to get to it. But like somebody else is. Like Zillow became a problem for real estate. Like let there be no confusion. The Googles and the Apples and the Amazons, they're coming for your business, everyone. You better wake up.
I'm going to pass it over now, Gary, to our esteemed panel here. And, you know, Don, I'm going to throw it over to you. And this is going to be a Q&A from them. So Don, first question from you for Gary. How about it?
Well, I think everyone's wondering what your thoughts are around the AI to be able to rebuild the Achilles tendon of Aaron Rodgers. Have you figured that out yet? And no crying. We lost him. He's already left.
Don, there was a mic drop. There was a mic drop.
I thought it was a pretty simple question, personally. So yeah, well, he left. He closed the laptop on accident. That's probably
while we're waiting for Gary to rejoin. Yeah. Any reactions from the panel on what he's saying? Is there anything? Oh, here he is. Okay.
There he is.
All right.
Quick recovery.
Gary. Gone. I'm just completely unemotional when it comes to business. Completely unemotional. It is my greatest strength. No emotion, no ideology, just execution, customer first, win. But the New York Jets is a very different place for me, Don. That is a very different place. It took everything. If I was not contractually obligated to sign back in, there is zero chance I'd be back in this call.
Well, my heart goes out to you, I want you to know. So that was really, it was coming from the heart. But just aside from that, what I want to ask you, so the biggest problem that I see within the change that needs to happen is 100% the mindset. And that's what our biggest challenge is. It's not our hands, it's not our feet, it's not anything else. It's what happens between your ears. And how can we help other practitioners come with the confidence? And one of the podcasts I watch of you, being curious enough and courageous enough to take the step. So how can we help them do that?
You know this, Don. I look at all these names, right? Jackie C versus Beverly G versus Jennifer T. And the reality is it's different for everyone, right? Like, for example, one of the things I fear is comfort. One of the biggest enemies for us trying to help people on this call is they're good, right? They're part of a 2-income family. They're good. I can give you 30 examples that are good. Loving relationship, good kid. Like they've got their shit together. They don't need a Lamborghini or a Mercedes or a second house to fulfill their insecurities. They're plenty secure. They make enough money. Their savings, they're good. The problem is technology is either your best friend or your enemy, right? It's like a big wave for a surfer, right? Either you're going to grab the surfboard and ride it and it's going to be epic, or it's going to get you, right? And so first, there's many different answers to your question. One is getting the people that are complacent, understanding that people are coming for them. That last year was great, the year before was great, next year is great. It's all looking great until somebody invents an Uber. I spoke at the National Black Car and Taxi Convention the year Uber launched, and I was an investor. And it was just kind of like it lined up. I wasn't speaking as the investor of Uber. I was speaking as GaryVee because I wrote this orange book about customer service and it went really well. I just invested in Uber and I could see Uber was winning. And I'm on stage and I'm like, by the way, I did my spiel, but I'm like, by the way, anybody raise your hand if you've seen Uber? And like some people in LA and SF and New York raise their hand, not the whole room. And I went into a 5-minute spiel of like, hey, this might be a problem. And when I tell you they laughed at me, the same way, Dawn, that somebody right now, when I say somebody's coming to get you, and someone's sitting there and saying, I've been dominating Short Hills, New Jersey, or Beverly Hills, or Topeka, Kansas for 20 years. Gary, I love you. You're entertaining. I get it, but not for me. 20 years, 59 clients who've always been with me, third generation families. I got the grandkid now, not for me, Gary. And they don't realize that like you've got to continue to future-proof your business with new technology because you can get caught. And I want to remind people here that a lot of you built your businesses by taking market share from the person that you out-innovated with Google AdWords, a website, direct mail, working harder by hustling in the local area, innovating. Like you did that, and somebody can do that to you. And so like, just don't chill, right? And Denise is right. Into it with AI, like.
And they're already making moves. They're already doing other things that we're all seeing as the email comes in. You're like, what are they doing now? And it's like, well, just stay ahead of them. We can stay ahead of them.
And honestly, it's probably going to be hard to stay ahead of big tech companies. Just staying a hair more contemporary and on it than a lull state will service people well here. Right? Just sending an email to all your clients to talk about doing a Zoom like this with all of them about how to use AI. That's like left field. Let me give you a weird strategy, Dawn. Send an email to all your clients saying, I'm doing a Google Hangout. And now this is after 3, 4, 6 months of playing with AI yourself because you can't talk out of your ass. All my clients, I'm just doing a little 5 minutes, literally 6:15 to 6:45, 30 minutes on some fun things about AI. I think we all know AI is out there. I'll show you what I've been thinking about. That 30 minutes for the 10% of your clients that show up to the Zoom, where you really just talk about AI in general, not from a CPA standpoint, will make every one of your clients that got that email subconsciously understand that you're staying ahead, thus rendering them not to consider to move from you.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to commence polling shortly, folks, to be on the lookout for those polls. Just an FYI. Logan, over to you for a question for Gary, please.
Awesome. Gary, Gen Z is starting to make money and need accountants. Like, what needs to change to be able to attract and sell our services to that generation?
There's 2 ways to think about it, brother. As you know, a lot of you get business just because their parents worked with you. Right? That's real. That's cool for a lot of people. And I love that. I do think Gen Z and Gen Alpha for sure, which is a little further away, but there's some youngsters on this call. But Gen Z is showing very clear indication that they're not going to use their parents' accountant will. Like they're very, 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 very cynical to their parents' generation. There is a generation war of boomer, millennial versus Gen Z, and it's manifesting as a ha 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 on TikTok, but it's showing up in business results. We're seeing the lowest conversion of generational service providing, and it's a big fear for me for a lot of people here. And I hate this generational stuff. One of the best, please can we just stop saying Gen Z's there? Like every person's different. Like generalization of generations is hurting us. Look, I think this goes back to what I was alluding to, Logan. I really do want people here to make 3 or 4 or 5 TikToks describing CPA 101 or taxes 101. Like I think relevance is going to matter. And I know that people are like, wait a minute, I'm not making a TikTok. I'm like, cool, but go put in CPA, #CPA or #taxes. Search that on TikTok right now. You will be blown away. And you don't have to dance and you don't have to make a skit. You can just talk real facts. This is a big one for a lot of people. Gen Z is using TikTok as a search engine over Google in a real way. And a lot of you get your business from Google. Things are changing. And so, I really, really, really want to make sure that especially for the people here who plan on doing business for the next 20, 30 years, even 10, that they're starting to get to a place where the requirement of making a little bit of content in these platforms really matters because they're like, you don't even need the content. It's similar to what I just said earlier. Creating a TikTok and making 10 videos, just having it, when Gen Z client looks at you and looks for your TikTok and sees that you're there, there's a level of confidence that you understand because they're asking questions and they're thinking about it differently. and they don't want to pay your fees if they can get around it. And Intuit with AI or other things is going to be a thing. And so you're going to have to win on people skills like you always have. And I think relevance is going to matter. And I think a little bit of content on TikTok will go a long way for a lot of people here future-proofing their business. Doesn't have to go viral. You just have to show that you do it.
I love that point. The people skills, Gary, it's never going away.
It's never going. Here's the good news for all the AI and all the TikTok and all the Gary being excited about technology. It's a human game, but scaling the humanity is what I'm trying to get everybody do.
I like that.
I want you to use technology to scale your humanity. I want you to use technology as a gateway drug to your human skills.
Tiffany, what's your question for Gary?
All right, Gary. So for us people that we are with you, we 100% know technology is the absolute way. We have been doing our best to be able to stay forward, stay on top of it. What is that advanced information that you would share for those to take our businesses that are tech savvy to that next level to be able to get those clients and start scaling?
YouTube Shorts is a secret weapon for everybody here because YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world and the biggest when it comes to accounting and taxes, because most people's reading comprehension isn't strong enough to read the long form content that's out there. So a lot of people are going to YouTube to watch videos and listen to information on making decisions. YouTube Shorts is short form video similar to TikTok and Instagram, but if you title it based on search queries, so you go and look on Google Trends or on Google to see what people type for, how do I do my, so you make a video on some new tax law and that's your video, but you title the video, even though it's not actually what's in the video, you title it, how to do my taxes in 2024, because that's how it indexes on Google, excuse me, on YouTube for search. So look, this, even for someone like me who's an advanced businessman, I am not going to stay up to date on every tax law. Most people know nothing about what you guys do for a living. Showing confidence or information to people is the quickest way to get their business. And so for the advanced group here, YouTube Shorts, even more than TikTok or Instagram, because people use YouTube to search, is a huge, huge opportunity and something people should be looking at. The other one is LinkedIn. I can't express, especially for you three panelists, I don't know where you're at on your career on this, like 2-3 posts a day. And I know that's like a daunting number, but like, as Zach said, what if you freeze up on video? Well, then talk, like show a tax return, show your tax return, video it and talk over it. You don't have to be in the video. Not everybody is as dynamic on film as Dawn B here, who explodes off the screen with the double fist pump. Not everyone has that, you know, and that's okay. For people that can write their asses off but aren't good on video, then LinkedIn's a fucking mitzvah, right? Instagram, you can post something like a $1 bill, but then write 10 paragraphs, and that's the post. You know, you can do a lot of, you can go do AI generated content and say, make me a picture that has $76,000 in pennies. Now you've got an image to reinforce what Matt wants people to know, which is you're wasting $76,000. Imagine that image of like a trillion fucking pennies, and then you write. So like, there's a lot of ways to be creative and do content, but that is required. Tiff, that is required. This is a content warfare. And it's always
Gary, like this doesn't take a lot of time throughout your day, is what I'm hearing.
It takes a lot of time to make the mental jump that Dawn was talking about. And then it's what happened with me with working out. It's still the hardest, but it's a lot easier for me to go to the gym this morning and bang out my work than 10 years ago when like it was just death. I literally, there was in that first year, I was like, I'm going to jump out the window and die. I do not want to go to the gym. Right. And and then it just becomes like right now, there's a lot of people with tech, SaaS, social, they're listening to me talk and they're like, no way. They're like, I'll let my niece do that or this, that. But once it becomes a habit and it doubles your business or protects your business, you're really happy you did it. Just like the people that would have died of a heart attack that didn't. I promise you, they may not know it because they'll have to wait to get to heaven when God tells them you would have died if you didn't fucking stop eating those cheeseburgers. But they will be happy when they get to heaven and realize they lived for 20 more years because they changed their health. For all of you on this, and then everyone in the chat, do you all believe that when you do your service for people, you save them money by understanding the tax law that year and put them in a position to save money? Please say yes or no real quick. Very simple question. This industry is like, I understand humans, back to Dawn versus Tiff, DNA, parenting, environment. There's variables to why someone will feel comfortable or uncomfortable to ask for money. There's a lot of parents that demonize asking for money, or neighborhoods or teachers or people of influence. The reason I asked the question, and obviously everybody responded what they responded, is there's not a lot of businesses on earth that can speak to saving people tangible money that's black and white that you can show them, right? Like when I talk about time efficiency savings, this is a blind thing. Your 19 hours back made you more money, but that's a very heady, intellectual, deeper understanding thing. Nobody here should be scared to ask for money, because you can literally at the end of it show them that you saved it. More importantly, like, this is a big one, I'm sorry to interrupt your flow, Dawn, but I'm like passionate about this. Like, what's gonna happen when you ask for more money than you asked last year? They're gonna tell you you're a fucking creep? Like what? Like, you know this, the biggest issue for most people here is asking for more money from someone that they've been doing business with for a long time.
Right.
I don't know if you guys heard, like, money costs money now. Like, we don't get money at zero interest anymore. Like I just really need people, like literally, here's the conversation. Dawn, let's role play. Dawn, hey, quick, I'm really glad you answered my email. I just need 5 minutes. I know how busy you are. Listen, I don't have to tell you what's going on. Obviously, we've been doing business for a long time, and I'm really thankful for our relationship. But the supply and demand, I'm running my own business too, just like the business you're running. I have a lot of people trying to come in the door, but I want to do that hand-to-hand dirty work that I've always done for you. But I've got so many more people coming to want to work with me. And, full disclosure, I've been grandfathering your price to do the work for you for so long. I'm going to need to raise it, because I'm really starting to hurt myself and my business. And I know that's not your headache, and it may be right for you to go with someone else who can stay within the budget, but I really think I've earned this 20% increase on the fees that I've been passing along. Okay, so now that's what you say. Here is literally the answer. Now I'm going to be in reverse. Dawn just said that to me. Hey, Dawn, fuck you. We're never working together again. Hang up. What just happened? What happened is you lost that revenue, but for a lot of you, was that revenue worth it? Like, you can't ask for more money if you're scared to lose it. But for a lot of you, you don't have more capacity to take on more money at a higher money. So what I just did to Dawn, in a lot of ways, you're like, good, I don't want that toxic person in my life anymore. That's not a good customer. What is more likely going to happen 70% of the time is, Dawn, I totally get it. You've absolutely earned it. Thank you. Or the 20% of the time, because the fuck you is only 1% of the time. The 20% of the time is like, hey, Dawn, you're hitting me on, like, I appreciate you called me in September. Tax season's obviously April. Like, this year hasn't gone as well. Can we do this? Can we just keep it for one more year? Can you do my season this year at the old price, and I'm in for the following year? And then Dawn can make that decision. If Dawn's got 4,000 requests to work with her, she might say no. If Dawn's got like 8 and she's always liked Gary, she may say yes. But this concept of imagining some sort of weird boogeyman by asking for a higher fee than you got paid the year before or the last 13 years, you're allowed to raise prices. Gas isn't 99 cents a gallon anymore. These fucking coffees are $9. You want to talk about dumb shit? They used to be $0.25. Like, it's okay to ask.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, again, and I think you guys get the understanding of what I'm trying to show here, that client experience and that last screen. Go, Gary.
I'm the worst.
No, you're the best.
I'm about to say something that's going to help Jennifer and Jackie. Kate, look at this. I'm fucking pumped on. Double fist like you do.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Ready? Low ball clients suck. You suck. Jen, you and Jackie suck. What I mean by that, of course you don't suck. I fucking love you. This is why I'm jumping in. There is no such thing as lowball clients. You don't have to take them. There's no lowball clients. You're a puss and a pushover, and you can't have candor. You're the one that's wrong. Not them. Their job is to pay as little as possible. I don't know. I'd like to pay. I'm in business out here. You know, Tiff can't have lowball clients. She's out here trying to make money. They're trying to make money. I don't want to pay you, Tiff. But guess what? You don't have to say yes. Lowball clients don't suck. Complaining about lowball clients when you have full control of not taking them, that sucks. You are all 100% in fucking control. You know who this is? This is the accountable ant. This is my favorite VeeFriend in my little Sesame Street meets Pokemon world that I'm building. Do you know why I love the accountable ant? The world, especially America, has become incredibly not accountable. Everything's fingers. It's the president's fault. It's my boss's fault. It's the world's fault. It's my uncle's fault. My parents fucked up. Everything's fucked. No. Thumbs. Get out of the finger pointing. Lowball clients do not suck. You are in control of firing them.
That's 100%. And that's where the mind shift has to happen. Like we have to take that responsibility on. And I definitely for sure have had to, and you have to look into your own soul to figure out where that is. But at the end of the day, it's true. And you know, when you get a new client, let's just say you get a new client who calls up, and we had one just last week, and they're like, hey, we want you to do this, we want to do that. We're a manufacturing company out here. We're doing all this stuff. I'm like, no problem. Tell you what, we'll do a 6-month contract. Here it is. He goes, that's out of our budget. I said, you know what? I respect that. You're a business owner. You're going to work hard. That's fine. We're not your firm. People come in here. I'm like, we are not the cheapest firm around here. And as a matter of fact, I prefer clients that are not in my area, to be honest with you. I would rather have people in different parts of the country who have that value and respect for what I do. I think a lot of times this is just maybe in my area, local clients are tough. They know you, they see you out at dinner, and you're their buddy, and they want to get something cheap. And it's like, those aren't the people you want. They're just not. And it's not that they're bad people.
By the way, lowball clients often started as the best because they were your first clients that got you off the ground. That really pisses me off, Dawn. When people are mad at the clients that actually started their whole career and they got them on grandfather fees, and now they're mad at them when those fuckers prop them up. There's a lot of people here who aren't ready to fire clients. You're not there yet. I didn't fire any fucking client for 9 years building VaynerMedia. I ate shit left and right. Delicious shit, Dawn. Ate it. Because I had no fucking options. I wasn't there yet. And a lot of people here who are watching, don't listen to me. You should charge less, get more clients right now. Meaning you got to be self-aware of where you are on your journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I would talk back and forth with Gary the whole time, but that's unfair. So I'm going to just be quiet.
Gary, I was looking at the time and being respectful of everybody who's on the call here, but listen, I want to ask you one last question.
Real quick, Matt, I just want to pound this and I'll get to it. I promise I won't leave.
Oh, awesome.
This is a huge mindset. I'm seeing it here and we're going to win. I'm so fucking pumped for everyone who's in this seminar. Lisa says, so confusing to me why friend and family wants discounts. They know you. You know them. Just put the mirror on yourself. Why shouldn't they? Like, why do they want discounts? Because they're your friend? Well, why do you not want to give them a discount? They're your friend. Like, what I'm saying is, if we all just spend zero energy of being mad at our customers, zero, and take all that energy, all that yapping with do you know who listens to you complain? Other people that complain. I promise you, if we were friends and relatives and you called me with that dumb shit of like, fuck Ron, he was always trying to get a deal. I'm like, say no. Well, Gary, you need that $1,500. You want 2,000, but you'll take the 1,500. So stop being a hypocrite. Let's make a commitment. All hands in on this ignition seminar. All hands in, all collectively, that we never again. All hands in, that we never again, ever again, blame our customers. They have the right in a capitalistic environment like America to ask, but you have the power to say no. And if you say yes, don't listen to where I'm at a different point of my career now. We now say no to people who want to pay us $2 million a year to do our services when we were ecstatic to take $5,000 a month 14 years ago. So know where you're at, but when you say yes, own it. People are like, Gary, are you so tired and exhausted? I'm like, I made this bed. I'm a hungry entrepreneur. I made my bed. I have to sleep in it. You think I'm going to complain about being tired when I'm living in my bed that I made? You've got to live in the bed you make. If you say yes, but you only have to do it that 1 year. You're allowed to ask for more the next year. And if they say no, you're allowed to say yes. You're not a pushover. Do you know how many times I've negotiated and be like, I can't do it, Dawn. Logan, you're out of your mind. I can't do it for less than 30K. Logan's like, 20K, bro. And then at 11:59 before it hits 12, I'm like, fine, I'll do it for 20K. I like you, Logan. You shaved your beard. We'll do it this year, right? Like, you're in full control. And I don't feel like I'm a pushover or a loser in that situation because I didn't win that current kind of negotiation. I feel like I was in control of making my decision at the last minute that worked for me. And whether you give free to your family, like I see Jennifer, or if you charge them double, you're just in control, and you're wasting a lot of energy overthinking it based on your own insecurities, not what they're doing wrong. Go ahead, Maddie.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to launch the last poll. We're heading into tax season, renewal season. So folks, I hope you're thinking about your tech stack. So we're going to get that poll up and running. Gary, I think you took the one question I was going to ask you last. So I'm going to give you the lob ball here. I'm sure you got something to say. Like, what is the one piece of advice after everything you've heard today, everything you've read in the comments, that you would give to the folks on this call about technology, running a more profitable business? Sky's the limit.
That this is an insular game, that you take your 2 index fingers and you put them in your ears and you worry about nothing besides you and what you can do about what you need to do. Forget about, if you do not want to use technology after the motivation that we've done here for an hour, mazel tov, good for you. But if you get your ass kicked in the next 2 or 3 years, you better own it, and don't tell me that it's fucking Elon Musk's fault or America's fault or the Democrats' fault or the Republicans' fault. Fucking fingers and ears, you're in full control. 100% in control. 100. You're 100% in control. Okay? You are 100% in control, not 99. And with that, you will start making decisions that can make you much happier. And whether that's to go harder at technology after today, I'm telling you, I saw some of you jumping in this. I'm so pumped. The #1 way to have a happier life and a more productive life in service businesses is never blaming your customer. I'm so pumped we got that in serendipitously here. Because you'll see what happens. It just changes everything. You start hiring another person, you start charging more, you actually fire 2 people. By the way, if you can afford it, because some of you can't, but no one should treat you nasty. You don't understand how much it's costing you. And I know all of you have that 1 or 2 client that just curse at you, or, like some, you're all humans. You probably missed some sort of $538 rebate. Somehow they figured it out. They call you in fucking June and you're a piece of shit. Fuck that shit. Do not allow anyone to be overly nasty. Once in a blue moon, maybe their mom's dying from a disease you didn't know. Like, if somebody's proved to you that they're a good human being and they have a bad moment, we have to have civility and capacity for that. But if someone's consistently shown you that they're not a nice person and they're treating you, they're paying you to beat you up to get their anger and hurt out on you because you're a service provider, you fire that customer. I mean that right now. I mean, again, or you're where I was 14 years ago and all of us were. Maybe you're in that year 1, 2, 3 where you really need it. Or maybe you just put your kid in private school and you just need it. And that's okay, because now you're doing it for a reason. I eat shit constantly, even at the level that I play out, because I know why I'm doing it. So this, one big game, Maddie, of self-awareness is my final piece of advice. One big game of self-awareness and self-love for yourself, about yourself, but hold yourself accountable. No excuses. Matt, do you know how crazy it is how many people spend their entire life complaining about what their parents fucked up as if they're not fucking up their kids?
Oh, my sister's a therapist. I get all the skinny. Lots.
It's constant. It's like what? Okay, but what? You're 49, Johnny. What are you gonna do about it? I get it. Your mom fucked up. Cool. Everyone's mom fucked up. Accountability is the gateway to happiness. There is no bad customers. There's just bad behavior that you created to create a bad customer. Mm-hmm. And if they're bad, no, that's you being strategic to eat some shit to get to the next place.
Gary, I think that is a hell of a note to finish on. I think, as you've seen from the comments, the best accounting webinar people have sat on. You've stoked people up. I think it's the message everyone needs to hear, especially this time of year. I want to thank Tiffany, Logan, Don, and Gary. Thank you so much for your time and everything you've told us today. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
And by the way, just to add another value, because this goes back to like what I want all of you to do, and I'll do this here, and I did it earlier, I'll do it one more time. This is my LinkedIn. No bullshit. If you see me involved in something I can help with, right? Like you see a photo with me with one of your customers because I was at a conference. Like I read my messages. If I have to hit them up and be like, yo, Dawn's the best, double her salary. Like I do random shit. You need me to send a selfie to your nephew? I'm about that life. So anything I can ever do. I love karma points. I'm happy to put it on. So
awesome. Gary, thank you.
Thank you, Gary.